Hey guys, and thanks for joining me for yet another video. In this presentation, we're going to be taking a look at how to make breadcrumbs from scratch. It's rather easy. All you really need is bread, leftover bread is preferred. I use the bread that I don't actually eat. And I used 12 blends of seasoning here to elevate it a level. And yeah, let's get into it. So I'm just here and I'm in the process of going to be making some breadcrumbs. So for this I used some bread that I had made. This was some homemade bread, but I cut off the ends of my bread and I threw them into some Ziplocs and I threw them in the freezer. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be processing this breadcrumbs. I'm going to be slicing them and I'll show you what that looks like and what we're going to do next. So I sliced the bread and I placed it on a skillet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the biggest element on my stove. I'm going to be turning my burner on to medium. We don't want it to burn, so we're going to be consistently flipping it. The point of doing that is to get this bread hard and stiff to crisp. So we'll be toasting it. I flipped it once so far. It's gotten a little bit golden from the first flip, and now I'm flipping it a second time. So once you've gotten your bread all nicely toasted and it's nice and toasted, you're going to just be breaking it apart, just as small as you can. So I'm going to be putting this in my magic bullet to blend it. But in my Ninja Bullet, I'm just going to be placing these breadcrumbs in here and I'm going to be processing them. So I'm going to blend this to the texture that I feel comfortable with. And I'll show you what that looks like. It might take a couple taps. I might have to open it a couple times and readjust, but I'll show you what that looks like. So after about 4 seconds of pulsing, I get half of it is already crummy. So probably another 2 or 3 seconds of just crumbing this down should get it done. I'll show you what it looks like with the texture that I like. So this is the texture that I like, that I feel comfortable with. It's pretty much like breadcrumbs. I have a tad bit left that I need to blend as well, so I'm gonna blend out all the breadcrumbs that I'm gonna be preparing today, and then I'll be back to show you what it looks like before I finish it off. So we have our breadcrumbs here. This is about 2.5 cups of breadcrumbs. To that we're gonna be using a 12 spice blend to season this. So here are the measurements. We're going to be using a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of rosemary, thyme, garlic powder, onion salt, onion powder, smoked paprika, parsley flakes, and cilantro leaves. So that was a half a teaspoon for all those. And then we're going to go 1 tablespoon of chicken base, the dry kind, chicken bouillon. Yeah, so I'm gonna place those into this bowl and then we're gonna incorporate them. So I'll get those measurements out here now. So I have all the measured ingredients, all 12 of those spices in this bowl. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a whisk to incorporate, just to make sure it's all blended in nicely. So after it's been blended nicely and you're comfortable with that, you're gonna go over your breadcrumbs and you're gonna sprinkle this seasoning. And then you're gonna take that same whisk and you're gonna whisk it in. You're gonna whisk in that seasoning into your breadcrumbs, just so it's not a plain breadcrumbs and this is fully flavored. So you're gonna whisk this in for about 2 minutes and then this will be ready to go. So I have 2 airtight containers that I am going to be using. Now it's very important that you get some airtight jars or jars that you can close, or mason jars or something with a very airtight lid. So I'm gonna go in with my measuring cup and I'm gonna just be filling these up What you're going to do is you're going to be able to store this in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. So you have up to 2 weeks to use these breadcrumbs.